welcome back to Movie Review Mom. I'm the mom and I review the movies. And today, the movie I'm reviewing is called Paper Lives. It premieres today on Netflix, March 12th, 2021. The movie is actually from Turkey, where it was not given an American rating, but I'm going to give it a rating of R, basically for violence and profanity. It's an hour and 36 minutes, and I'm going to give you my movie review mom grade at the end of my review. I'll give you an overview in a nutshell. I'll point out things I liked and didn't like, some tips for parents, and probably the biggest tip is kids probably shouldn't watch this movie. And I'll even give you some movie recommendations for other movies that I think you might also like if you enjoy this one. All right, let's dive in. So, in a nutshell, Mehmet is a kind man who runs a solid waste warehouse in a poor neighborhood in Istanbul, Turkey. He helps everyone in need, especially homeless children and teenagers, since he was one. This is a very dark and dramatic film directed by Khan UK and written by Ersan Mehmet Erdem. Maybe that's where they got the name Mehmet for the character. And I'm probably slaughtering all of these pronunciations, so I apologize. There were plenty of things I really liked about the movie. First of all, I love the title because it refers to all the paper products that the protagonist collects and recycles for money, as well as his paper thin life. And of course, you get to go to Istanbul, Turkey to see what life might be like there. That's a destination that's been on my bucket list for many years. Specifically, my husband and I want to see the epic Hagia Sophia in Istanbul. I mean, all of the other stuff. And I'm always fascinated with the food that people eat in other countries. And there are a few scenes where you get to watch people use the naan or the bread as a utensil to eat. So I just think that's interesting. And I wanted to see, well, what's the food look like? And I couldn't quite tell in the movie, but I'm fascinated with travel and cultures and language and all of that. And so if you like traveling in movies like I do, then you'll get a kick out of seeing the streets. Now, these are the poorer streets of Istanbul. Because the film is made in Turkey, most Americans will be completely unfamiliar with the stars of the film, but I thought that they all did a really good job. Let's see if I can pronounce their names. Kagate Ulusoy and Ersin Arisi. And then the young boy is completely adorable, and he's played by Amir Ali Degrul. And speaking of bucket lists, I was really tickled to see that the protagonist keeps a bucket list. I started mine when I was just a teenager, and I used to look at the list and think, oh, someday, until finally I decided to stop wishing and wondering and actually make those things happen. So I took them off that list and put them on my calendar and did research to find out, what do I need to do to make these things happen? Now, a lot of the things, probably the majority of the things on my bucket list, are travel related. Crossing items off your bucket list is such an empowering feeling. I highly recommend it. I thought it was really sweet in the movie how the street people call each other brother and uncle, how they become each other's family. And you really get that sense of community and support among this group of people that live on the street and collect all of the garbage, the recyclables for money. There's a really great no cut shot at the beginning of the movie that had me guessing who the protagonist was going to be. I just love no cut shots. I also really love twists, and there's a surprising twist in this movie as well. Some foreign films that use voiceover work can look really distracting when you watch the mouths and it doesn't align with the audio. But actually, I thought this movie did a really great job with that. It wasn't distracting at all. I don't know if I was just so sucked into the story or they just did it in such a way that it flowed and I forgot that they weren't speaking English. Actually, they were speaking with a British accent. And that was actually one of the things I didn't like about it. It didn't seem to quite match. Their accent reminded me of the movie Oliver Twist. Not, and that's a great movie and a great story. I don't know. There was just something knowing that they were in Turkey and then they've got these like Cockney accents or something. It just sort of was a disconnect for me. When I thought about it, I thought, well, I don't know that I would want them to have American accents. So I don't know. It was just something I noticed. As much as I admired the protagonist for helping so many people and being so supportive of all of those around him in his circle, he had a serious anger management problem that got him in a lot of trouble. Now, later throughout the movie, you understand why. I think that that also led to some very melodramatic overacting moments. Now, don't get me wrong, I thought that the main actor did a very good job. And maybe it was the direction where it just kind of went off into the melodrama category. But still, the story is very serious, very dramatic, and deserves a heightened degree of seriousness. Now, let me give you some tips for parents. Kids are going to be bored and they really shouldn't watch the movie anyway. There are lots of moments of profanity and some F bombs. Some kids sniff glue and get high. Some men get in bloody fist fights. And then there's also talk and illustration of sickness and death, hospitals, and that kind of stuff as well. There are also some really happy moments. And so I thought that that contrast was effective. The themes that are introduced in the movie include kindness, sacrifice, community and support, charity and helping others out, child abuse, mental illness. Family doesn't always mean blood relatives. It means the people that you surround yourself and create a family and a home with. And so I really like that. And I thought it was illustrated really well. And friendship. There are some very sweet, loyal bonds of friendship in the movie that I really appreciated. I always write down funny lines and interesting lines when I watch movies, and I put them on my written review at moviereviewmom.com. So you can read my full review there, but I'll share one of them with you right now. I thought it was really profound. As I mentioned, the movie really focuses on the lives of these people that live on the streets, basically in poverty. They're gathering junk out of garbage cans and then selling it for the recycled value. And so one of the characters says, we tried to build a life out of other people's leftovers. I think the movie will allow you to look at people on the street a little bit differently with greater compassion, even. And I think that's a good thing whenever we can increase our love and compassion for those around us. All right. So you want to know what movie review mom grade I'm giving it? I thought it was really good. And so I'm giving it a B. I love that Netflix is introducing more foreign films. Now, Netflix started off as an American company. And so as an American, we expect American movies. But I have friends all over the world and they always say, oh, yeah, I was watching Netflix the other day. And I was like, really? You have Netflix in your country? And they are so used to watching foreign films that finally Americans are being exposed to more and more thanks to Netflix and the other studios. But I think that that's a really good thing. And like I said, it allows you to kind of travel around the world and open up your eyes to how other people live. And again, I think that that increases the compassion that you feel for humanity in general. All right. So, as I mentioned, the movie that I'm going to recommend that's sort of similar is Oliver Twist. It takes place in England and it's a story of a homeless boy and his adventures and the family and friends, some similar experiences that he has along his journey. And then let me point out two other international films that are also currently on Netflix. And I reviewed both of them recently. One is called Red Dot. It's an action thriller, kind of a mystery. And in that case, the audio and the video weren't synced up as well as in this movie. And then the other one is called The White Tiger, and it takes place in India. It's in English without subtitles or dubbing or anything like that. But it also gives you an excellent look at people on the streets doing what they need to do and trying to break out of the poverty cycle. I thought that that one was really interesting. If you haven't seen those yet, watch my reviews and then take a peek over on Netflix and see if you enjoy those. I think that you will, especially if you like this one. All right, that's it for my review today. Thanks for supporting me over at Patreon. And there are plenty of free ways to support me as well here by just simply subscribing, telling your friends to subscribe, liking it, Commenting down below actually spreads YouTube juice all over the algorithm to let more people know about my growing channel. Thank you so much, and I hope you have an awesome day and a great weekend, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.